and welcome to What's New in Readium Web. This is our second edition of this format where we focus on toolkits and products for ebooks, audiobooks, and comics on the web. We'd like to talk about three different topics in this video: the release of Thorium Web 1.0, updates to the TypeScript Toolkit, and what's next for these projects, with a focus on three priorities for the rest of the year. Thorium Web 1.0 is our first stable release for the project. It supports reflowable and fixed layout EPUB, it offers plenty of options for visual adjustment, and its user experience is optimized for both desktop and mobile. If you're following our repos, you might have noticed that we've already released 5 minor versions since late August. In these releases, we've introduced new features such as additional translations, new option for headers and progression, and a new take on how we handle spacing in visual adjustment. From now on, you can expect regular updates, bringing minor improvements, bug fixes on a regular basis. If you're not keeping up with your repos, there's another option available, Readium Playground. Whenever we release a new version of Thorium Web, we also roll it out to the Playground, where you can test it. We'll also bring features exclusively to the Playground, in order to highlight how developers can customize the product. Moving on to the TypeScript Toolkit, we want to put a focus on accessibility metadata. With the advent of the European Accessibility Act in June, we've added extended support for accessibility metadata in the toolkit. In order to help developers with these metadata, we've also added support for the W3C Accessibility Metadata Display Guide. We already have this guide available in a few languages, but you can contribute for more languages. We also have a public service announcement related to the toolkit. With the release of Thorium Web 1.0, we've decided to deprecate the vanilla test app. If you'd like to implement Readium Web, we now recommend looking into the Thorium Web codebase and our documentation available in the repo. So what's next for these projects? Well, we have 3 clear priorities: support for audio, being able to protect content on the web, and web publications. Let's talk about audio first. We have 3 main features that are complementary in mind. We want to support read aloud using text-to-speech. We want to have playback for pre-recorded audio using media overlays in EPUB. And we also want to support audiobooks. And in all cases, we want to make sure that the user can choose how they consume audio content. It could be audio on its own, like an audiobook, or it can also be audio plus text together. For Read Aloud, we've started working on a new project called Readium Speech. Readium Speech will be deeply integrated in Readium Web and Thorium Web, but it will also work as a standalone project. This means that Readium Speech could work on any web page, not just in a web reader. Our first component is what we call the Playback API. It's an API that receives text or SSML and returns audio. We have 2 targets for the Playback API: Web Speech API and third-party services. The Web Speech API is the official API for text-to-speech on the web platform, but unfortunately, it's full of bugs and limitations. Our goal with the Playback API is to work around these problems. This way, implementers can leverage the native capabilities of the web platform without hitting a wall constantly. For third-party services, we're exploring a new approach. We want to make it easy enough for implementers to swap between various TTS services. This would allow implementers to work with different commercial solutions available, such as 11 Labs, OpenAI, Microsoft, or Google. But this would also allow implementers to deploy open source or open weight models. From the perspective of Readium Speech, this would be completely transparent. You'll just need to say which service you'd like to use, and that's all. In addition to Read Aloud, we also want to make sure that pre-recorded audio is supported. With that in mind, we can officially announce that the Go toolkit can already parse media overlays. This is the first step towards full support for pre-recorded audio, which we expect to complete in the next few months. Let's move on to protection. Many organizations around the world use Readium LCP to protect their downloads. We know that something similar is required for reading on the web as well. After a series of interviews, we're now ready to start the development of this feature. Unlike LCP, this won't be a monolithic approach. We'll gradually release new features until early next year. Keep an eye on our repos if you'd like to know more, and expect a dedicated webinar early next year to cover this topic. Finally, if you follow our YouTube channel, you might have noticed a number of videos dedicated to web publications. In our latest video, we've explored how web publication could provide a different experience from EPUB. I'm also glad to announce that this won't remain theoretical for much longer, with the first proof of concept expected later this year. We hope that this video was useful, and we look forward to providing more updates in the future. To make sure that you don't miss anything, you can subscribe and also click on the bell icon for notifications. We also post regular updates on LinkedIn, where you can learn about our community as well. Have a nice day, and see you next time.